She was not born loud. She did not arrive demanding space. She entered the world quietly, with a heart open, with hands ready to give, with eyes that believed people meant what they said. No one warned her. No one taught her how easily kindness can be mistaken for weakness. No one explained that love does not always protect. Sometimes it tests. Sometimes it takes. Sometimes it leaves. She learned early that silence can be heavier than words. That waiting can hurt more than rejection. That hoping can exhaust the soul. She watched dreams fade without ceremony. Watched promises change shape. Watched people walk away while saying stay strong. And she stayed. Not because it was easy, but because leaving felt like losing herself. There were nights she cried without sound. Mornings she woke up tired of being brave. Days she smiled because explaining would take too much energy. She carried pain the way others carry handbags. Close to her body. Never letting it touch the ground. Never letting anyone see how heavy it was. They called her strong. But strength was never her choice. It was survival dressed as courage. It was endurance disguised as grace. She wanted softness. She wanted safety. She wanted to rest. But life kept asking for more. More patience. More forgiveness. More understanding. More sacrifice. And she gave. Until one day she felt empty. Until one day she realized she had been pouring from a cup no one helped refill. That was the moment something shifted. Quietly. Without drama. Without witnesses. She stopped explaining herself. Stopped begging to be understood. Stopped shrinking so others could feel comfortable. She began listening to her own voice. The one she had ignored for years. The one that whispered you matter too. Being unbroken does not mean untouched. It means touched and still standing. It means bent but not erased. It means scarred but breathing. She did not harden. She became clear. Clear about her boundaries. Clear about her worth. Clear about the cost of loving people who do not love back. She learned that saying no is not cruelty. That choosing herself is not selfish. That walking away is sometimes the bravest form of love. There were still moments of doubt. Still echoes of the girl she used to be. Still memories that arrived without warning. But now she met them differently. With compassion instead of blame. With understanding instead of shame. She stopped asking why me. And started asking what now. What now became healing? What now became growth? What now became freedom? She found strength in softness, power in patience, peace in solitude. She discovered that being alone is not the same as being lonely. That silence can be safe. That calm is not boring. It is a luxury. She rebuilt herself slowly, piece by piece, not into who the world wanted, but into who she needed to survive. An unbroken woman does not roar. She resonates. You feel her presence before she speaks. You notice her absence when she leaves. She no longer chases. She attracts. She no longer proves. She simply exists. Her story is written in resilience. Her language is boundaries. Her love is intentional. She remembers who she was. But she honors who she has become. And if you ask her how she survived, she will not list her losses. She will not name the people who failed her. She will say, I kept going. Even when I was tired. Even when I was afraid. Even when I felt invisible. She will say, I chose myself. Again and again. Until choosing myself felt natural. This is the quiet power of unbroken women. Not perfection. Not invincibility. But the courage to continue. With a tender heart. And an unshakable soul. She was not weak. She was open. And the world mistook openness for permission. Permission to take. Permission to leave. Permission to test how much she could endure. She gave love the way some people give air. Without measuring. Without holding back. Without expecting applause. She believed effort mattered. That loyalty would be returned. That honesty would protect her. But life does not reward purity. It examines it. She learned that the hardest lessons arrive wrapped in familiar faces. That the deepest cuts come from hands you trusted. That goodbye does not always announce itself. Sometimes it happens slowly. Through neglect. Through silence. Through being chosen last. She remembers the first time she felt herself disappearing. Not all at once. Just a little. The way she stopped sharing. The way she laughed less freely. The way she started editing her feelings. She told herself she was being mature. Being patient. Being understanding. But she was shrinking. Quietly. Politely. Painfully. She carried the emotional weight of everyone around her. Became the listener. The supporter. The strong one. No one asked who held her when she fell apart. No one noticed how tired her eyes had become. They admired her strength. Never realizing it was built from exhaustion. There were nights she stared at the ceiling. Counting breaths. Convincing herself to stay. Stay hopeful. Stay kind. Stay alive. She questioned her worth in rooms full of people. Felt invisible while being needed. Needed but not chosen. Loved but not protected. That confusion broke her in ways she could not explain. How can someone miss you while hurting you? How can love feel so lonely? She blamed herself. For being too much. For caring too deeply. For feeling too honestly. Until one day she realized. The problem was never her depth. It was people who only knew how to swim shallow. That realization hurt. But it also freed her. She began grieving. Not just people. But versions of herself. The girl who believed words. The girl who waited. The girl who thought love meant endurance. Grief taught her something important. You can mourn and still move forward. She stopped asking for clarity from those who thrived on confusion. Stopped seeking closure from those who avoided accountability. She chose peace. Even when peace felt unfamiliar. Healing was not beautiful. It was lonely. It was repetitive. It was uncomfortable. It meant sitting with feelings she had buried. It meant admitting she had been hurt. Not just disappointed. She learned that being unbroken does not mean never falling apart. It means putting yourself back together with honesty. She rebuilt herself without urgency. Without apology. She let herself rest. For the first time without guilt. She stopped explaining her boundaries. Stopped negotiating her worth. Stopped proving she deserved care. She understood that real love does not drain. It nourishes. Now she listens more than she speaks. Observes more than she reacts. She has learned that silence can reveal truth. That distance can protect peace. She no longer fears being alone. She fears losing herself again. An unbroken woman does not need validation. She recognizes herself. She walks differently now. Not heavier. But grounded. Her softness remains. But it is guarded by wisdom. She still loves deeply. Just not recklessly. She chooses connections that feel safe. Conversations that feel honest. Love that feels mutual. And if someone cannot meet her where she stands, she lets them go without bitterness. Not because it does not hurt, but because she has learned what it costs to stay. She knows now.